Hey everybody, it's me, Ray from C is for Crone, and welcome to this episode of the Widow Journals. It's been a few days. I've had a nasty bout of depression since the 12th of this month. It's emotionally, it's very, very hard. And it turns out that when I slipped and fell the other day, not only my knee's fine, my knees has been fine, but I pulled a muscle on my left side here, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. And potentially being in that extra pain and being lonely, as my comfort person is no longer here. God, I miss him so much because we used to just curl up in bed together. And that's why bedtime is the worst for me. I can usually get through the day, busy myself with stuff, because if he wasn't home because of dialysis and I was home, then I was doing stuff, or I was with him at dialysis. And on days off, sometimes I'd be by myself, but it wouldn't be horrid because he'd be in the next room sleeping, because he didn't feel good from the day before. I really wish they'd listened to me. I wish he'd listened to me. I found out when he got sick one time that this is probably rare. It doesn't happen to a lot of people, but in the process of doing the dialysis, the hemodialysis, which is they do that. That's the blood one that goes in the machine, and that's the one everybody knows about, where they clean your blood. Yes, they were taking all this water off, but they were taking too much water off. He was like 6 feet tall, and they wanted him to be, what was it, 82 kilos or something like that, which we figured, like, they wanted him to be less than 180 pounds. And so they had the math wrong anyways. And when he started feeling better, he started eating better. And then he started moving. And so there was no adjustment for it at all. There was just this, what they call dry weight that they wanted him to be at, and it wasn't good for him. And so they were taking huge amounts of liquid off him, and it dehydrated him. It dehydrated his blood. They would just still say after a session, he had too much water on, and watch your water. And even when he was behaving himself and watching his water, and his salt intake, he was still had too much water on, but they wouldn't adjust. There was no adjustment, and no slowing down on it. So that was very hard, and that's part of what was making him sick all the time, was he was just dehydrated at a level that wasn't good, because your organs don't function properly, and your brain, without liquid in it. So there's my little dialysis rant. So yeah, I've been slowly going down since I last was on here. Christmas carols are still helping. I have gotten some bunch of decorating done in living room. Not a whole lot. right above the TV in front of me. There, I've done the top of the entertainment stand, so that's good. But the loneliness, you know, the things you miss, like I don't really. There's no replacement for him. We didn't have children. There's no children here. I didn't have any children from my first marriage either. So there's nobody to come over here and kind of take that place that Kirk filled. Like my back hurts, and trying to put medicated creams. I'll be trying after this. After I'm gonna go have a bath and soak myself a lot. I'm hoping the lighting's okay in here. I've got different lighting set because I'm enjoying instead of the glare from the ceiling fan, the lights from the ceiling fan. I've up top. I've got a lamp light up there, and then I'm using. He had a magnifying. Excuse me, a magnifying light thing they was using for his stuff, so he could, some of it was a little finer, so I was doing that. So, but yeah, so it's me. And one of the things that I had been using was a wooden spoon, so I can get on my back, but to help with my fibromyalgia and my osteoarthritis. That's too bright. That over there. And so sometimes I don't when I should. Weather changed last week, so massive migraines. It actually feels like it's settling down up in here. My neck's a little looser. So that's helpful. Lots of crying. There's lots of crying last night. I had a breakdown last night. I think it's good, though, to have those breakdown moments and cry and let it out. Too often we're trying to put forward a brave face when we've lost somebody important. And somebody important could be your dog, your cat. Some people could be really attached to a fish. I have one. Her name is Vader, common pleco, algae eater type. And when she goes, I'm going to be upset about that. I'm not going to be happy. And I have no energy. I'm so tired all the time. But despite that, I'm managing to get little bits of stuff here and there done. And trying to just keep myself busy with some Christmas projects. The other day, I actually went and did some Joy. I may have showed this on some other thing, but I got my yarns, my Christmas yarns, and I tidied up the living room a little bit because I was sorting through and putting yarn stuff away. But I'm really happy that I've at least got something started for Christmas. Trying not to worry about finances and bills that show up that I can't pay. And sometimes that happens. You get caught off guard, like the way he passed. I might have put an end to things on September 11th. But I think he died on my kitchen floor when he had a heart attack. So I don't talk about that a lot, because that just makes me want to cry. So I just wanted to come on here and say that I'm trying to be organized. I've just been so tired and I've been very depressed the last few days. I have been doing, like I said, I have been doing things to try and boost my mood, so I don't crash and burn. Hello, everybody. Sitting here also reminding myself, two things. One, there's no one to take my cats, and I'm their mom. So when I'm really starting to feel low, it's maternal instinct. Focus on them. Quit focusing on how I'm feeling and just focus on them. And they're great. They like the hugs and the cuddles. And anyone who's been following around on my channel, you've seen who my cats are: Simon, Cleo, and Morgana and Bastion. Morgana and Bastion are my youngest. They're my black kitty twins because they're from the same litter. And I am really, really, really glad they're here, because one of the hardest parts in the first year is to hang in there and keep going forward. I know when I lost my mom in 2010, that was hard. That was really, really hard, and I was very, very depressed. But I'm thinking this is worse between the two. Like, as hard as that was with mom, maybe it's the distance. I don't know. It's been 10 years, over 10 years since I found out, about my mother's, almost 10 and a half. And this is still so fresh and things, but it's definitely different. I would say actually it is harder, because when mom passed, I didn't lose my finances. When I was working at the time, I had to quit my job shortly after. I couldn't handle the stress of working and dealing with grief. But I didn't. I can't work, and so I was reliant on the money he brought in. He was on provincial disability and federal government disability monies, and we lived off that. Thank heavens they were paying for his dialysis, for the gas to go to dialysis, or he would have passed away a lot sooner. So yes, I'm very grateful that because of that, he lived longer than he would have. But yes, and I'm always going to preface this as Pagan place, so that everybody knows that it might not be the most happy joy of moments. I've almost come on here a couple of times in full blow, but I can't seem to do that. It's embarrassing for me. Not that I should be embarrassed about my grief, but so good thing that happened today is I got asked to go out for tea, because I can't drink coffee. I love the smell of coffee. I should always write that down as one of my happy things. The smell of coffee makes me happy. And we had choice of go and sit down and have our beverage. But chose to drive around. It was a beautiful day to just drive around and look at the winteriness of everything, because where I live, far enough north, that when the temperature is, actually doesn't even have to be all that cold. It just has to be moisture in the air, enough moisture in the air with the right kind of cold, and we get this thing called hoarfrost, Hoar, hoarfrost, and it freezes all beautiful on the branches and everything. Very gray today, but we had all this from a couple days ago. Still there. Oh, nice fuzz across the screen. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but yeah, it's winter's such a beautiful time. Winter and this is my season, so sometimes things happen for a reason, and as much as this hurts, I feel kind of blessed because it happened at a time when I had spiritually could be a little stronger, with winter being my season and Christmas coming up, and Mom's big thing for Christmas was ambiance. And that's cool because that's all candles and music and decorations and the food. And I haven't got to the food yet because I'm tired. But I'm planning on it. I want to make gingerbread cookies and mincemeat tarts and pound cake and sugar cookies and a few other things that are really kind of cool to be having at Christmas time. And so I'm hoping I start feeling better because I'd like to get on that because gingerbread is better. I have found if you leave it in the fridge for a couple of days, and let those spices really get all nice and set. It's very, very yummy. Well, that's making me think of that whole, hey, Simon, stop that. You know better than to scratch on the chair. Don't be a Braticus, pussycatus. What are you doing? What are you doing? But anyways, it's making me think about that. Eat, drink, and be married. Married? No more marriage. Stop it. Stop it. Eat, drink, and be merry. That I had wanted to be doing over the summer. And it's... I need to get back there because there's... grief robs you. It's insane how brain damaged you become. You're emotionally messed up. I can't remember anything. I keep forgetting stuff. Even if I write stuff down on a piece of paper, I suppose going through menopause with grief is it's even worse. Where? Don't do that. You're interrupting Mommy's live stream. Simon, stop it. Stop it. Children, stop it. Don't be a bad child. Just because you can. Anyway. Yeah, I think if I wasn't quite so tired, like from being in pain from my arthritises and then migraines and now my back, I probably would be able to feel better. Not that I wouldn't have had what I had last night, but I think when you're uncomfortable and you're missing your comfort person, and he was my big comfort person. Life gets miserable, and it just adds to it. So, but I'm trying to set myself goals of trying to problem solve. I'm a problem solver by nature, anyways. I think that's sometimes why I like to mess with patterns when I'm crocheting and knitting, is it gives me not only mixes things up so I'm not bored all the time doing the same thing over and over again, but it's something different to do. It's a different thing to think about. Well, I guess maybe it's the boredom thing. Oh, well, this is so much better. I had sad moment earlier. I know for the most part nobody's watching those live streams until like later, I guess, but because they're on all over the place. I'm fairly bad about being regular with anything. But and yeah, I guess I have no routine anymore. My schedule's all messed up. Yes, I know we're talking 2 months now, in little over 2 months now since he passed. But there are still days like I feel like I should be getting ready for dialysis tomorrow. We did that for like a year and a half. That was the thing. And before that, it was he was working. November is hunting season, and this has been weird because there's no getting up early in the morning. Not that I'm just getting up at like 5:30 in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to get him ready. But that when he wasn't going to dialysis or he wasn't working, there was this routine that we got into. And so everything is kind of messed up and everything's triggering now. I was watching Dirty Dancing the other night and seeing a correlation between Johnny and Baby and myself and Kirk. And it made me cry. And I was watching a Christmas show. I can't even remember which one it was. Some Christmas show, and it made me cry. So just this weirdness that I'm living in right now. Yeah, no routine. There's just no routine. And it's showing. This no routine is starting to show. I am trying to curb the bedtime. It's really hard to slow things down at midnight and start getting ready bed when you're not out of bed till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like we really haven't, by the time midnight come around, you don't feel like you're still working on your day. There's been no day, like but I've been eating. I will say that I'm eating. I've got menu and I've been working off a menu. I don't always follow what's on the menu because I don't feel like it, but some days, yes. It's good to have that menu because there's that focus on having supper at some point and get that food in. And it is important because grief throws your immune system all out of whack. Yeah, if you're going to get sick, this is the time of your life you're going to get sick. Taking higher amounts of vitamin C because of that. But anyways, bibble babbled here for 25 minutes. And I did say that I was going to end every one of these with gratefuls and what I'm proud of and what makes me happy. So I will say that I am grateful that he was such a big part of my life, and that I got left a house that I could live in, that could be here with my kiddos. There's no scrambling there. So I'm grateful for that, and it feels like home. It's a little, the energy is empty in here, and that's one of the things that's spiking the loneliness. But we have this, I've got a home where I can decorate and have Christmas in, so and celebrate Yule, and this is really, really kind of cool. I'm looking forward to my Yule dinner that I want to have. I'm going to celebrate on the 21st, no matter what the date is. The actual date of Yule is, I have special reasons for that, and so, and then it's easy to remember, 21st. I am grateful for all the Christmas decorations I've accumulated. It's because it means that, I didn't have to go running out and go buy stuff to help cheer myself up. I have money for other things, and every year everything gets done just a little bit different every year. I'm grateful that I don't have to take everything down. There's a bunch of stuff that is not coming down, because I want that green feel in the house without having to have plants all over the place. And in my paganism, it just has that feel of it, right? So, and I'm grateful for my fur kiddos, because even though Simon was being a Batticus, Bradicus, Pussycatus, yeah, Pussycatus, they distract me a lot, and keep me from just focusing on me. They have to be fed. I have to scoop their potty. It's pay attention to me. I don't care if you're knitting, Mom. Pay attention to me. I want hugs and loves now. They annoy each other, so there's a certain amount of stop that, don't do that, leave your sister alone type stuff. And so, yeah, there's just this sense of rhythm with them, and maybe that's the answer with the routine is focus on what they need, and things more on what they need and what their day need to do. So yes, I'm very grateful for them. What am I proud of? I am proud that I went out today and got a couple of important things done. And I got to socialize and hang with friends, and which is good, because I needed that. And it wasn't so cold today, so I took both Simon and Cleo out for a little tiny bit. They went out for a little bit of a walk outside. Yes, those two for sure. I can walk on leashes. Morgana's not much of a outside person. She gets scared very quickly. Bastion's a little iffy. And neither of those two have enough fur to be outside right at the moment. But both Simon and Cleo have more. They're more heavily furred. They're not long hairs, but they're more densely furred. There we go. And so out there for about 2, maybe 5 minutes each. And then they came back inside, and then I walked up and went and got the mail. And yeah, so I was actually outside the house. I actually did stuff. I'm proud of myself that late last night, even though I did not want to, I took the garbage out because Mondays is garbage days. Yeah, I'm proud of myself that I am getting some household tasks done. My happies, my babies, my fur babies make me happy. Yarn is life. I always say that, yarn is life. Coffee, the smell of coffee. Add that to the happies. Let's see. The smell of cloves for baking. That's my happy smell, is cloves. That's my happy thing. Sitting in the living room with nothing but the Christmas lights on. That's pretty groovy too. That makes me happy. I really kind of like that. What else? A good snowfall, a proper snowfall, even though I have to go out and deal with it. Snow makes me happy. One of my happiest things that I absolutely love to do when it's snowing, and I haven't done it in forever because I haven't had a proper MP3 player or anything like that. I don't know how to put music on my phone. Is I like when it's snowing. I used to do this, go outside when it was snowing and with my headphones on and listen to Pachelbel's Canon. And oh my God, it's such a beautiful piece of music. And it's just the right kind of music, especially if the snowflakes are kind of doing that lazy sort of wafting sort of thing floating down. And that's absolutely amazing. Yeah, so. Yeah, I definitely need to focus on the happy. Have my sad moments, let myself crash and burn, because I find that's the best way to deal with that. But remember to have a safety net type thing, something marker, and say, okay, you're going to cry from here to here. When I'm starting to feel really low and going to the bad place, to something to pull me out. That would be good, because there's so much that I would miss, for lack of a better word. I believe in reincarnation, but I wouldn't, I think I would miss being me. Like, I don't like the whole fat thing going on, but to not be me anymore. And maybe that's what this whole menopause and the grief thing is doing to me, is it just has skewed my identity of myself. And the other thing that makes me happy, being a redhead. So, put my own little redheadedness spin on the Christmas and get my baking done, because I love the smell. Absolutely. There goes another piece of fluff. Cat hair. Anyways, I hope my Tuesday hasn't technically started. It is almost 1:15 here, a.m. But I hope your Tuesday's going well, and it happens to be Wednesday. I hope, happy Wednesday to you. And thank you to everyone who stops by and even peeks at. And I thought I noticed that I had another subscriber. Awesomeness. And I appreciate, as I've said, I appreciate every single one of you, and that you're hanging in there and your support and everything. So I will say goodnight and try not to leave quite so many days in there. So, things I'm focusing on, things I'm grateful for, something I'm proud of, and the happy stuff. Night.